Hi everybody, Kathy Syed from the Confident Leader Journey here. So I was reflecting on how much of a leader's role is about supporting and enabling other people to develop, and it's also about our own development as well. So this aspect of learning, development and growth is critical to a leadership role. And I was talking to some friends of mine who are leaders, and I mentioned Bloom's taxonomy. Now, I come from a learning and development background, and from an educational background, Bloom's taxonomy is the core of what they do. And so many of them said, well, what's that? That I thought it would be useful to do a short vlog on it and explain why it matters and how it can help us be more confident as leaders. So Bloom's taxonomy is actually a framework that was initially created for categorizing educational goals, so levels of learning, so to speak. And in the written blogs that accompany this vlog, there will be an image of the taxonomy to help you. You can see it just on my screen over here on my left. And it's basically, easy way to remember it is it's a triangle, a pyramid with 6 layers. I like to think of it as a cake with 6 layers, but that might just be me. And what I'd like to do is walk you through Bloom's taxonomy, and we can see why and how having this, an understanding of Bloom's taxonomy, can really help us in terms of developing ourselves and developing our teams. So what it talks about fundamentally is that there are layers of learning, and that you can't go to the top layer unless the other layers are in place. So the very foundation level is knowledge. Can you remember the knowledge about a certain topic? And so I kind of think of this as the what level. So if I'm working with someone and they're going to be leading people, and let's say the topic is motivation, I want them to know, what is motivation? What are some of the equations about it? What is, can you define it? Can you repeat it? Can you state it? Do you have that knowledge, and can you remember it? So that's the what level. And then the next layer is, how well do you understand it? How well do you comprehend it? So at this level, I can ask people to explain the idea or concept, to discuss it, report it, select it, maybe translate it into another context, that kind of thing. So it's almost like the so what. So at one level, I'll understand what motivation is. Motivation is the drive that people have to do things. Well, do I understand it well enough to explain it in different ways to different people? Can I give examples of what it is so that people understand it? So can I talk around the concept so that somebody else I'm talking to will understand what motivation is from my explanation? Now you can see that these 2 foundation levels of knowing something and understanding it are pretty basic levels of information. But I'd like you to think for a moment and reflect how often in your working life you've been expected to do something without having that basic knowledge and understanding of what it is you're being asked to do. It happens more often than we'd like to think. So just as when I was talking about the confidence zone and the confidence wheel, do people have the knowledge they need to do the task? And do they understand that knowledge well enough to do the task? 2 critical questions which really impact how confident someone is moving forward. And in fact, if I'm coaching people and someone is a low performer, I will actually go right back down to the foundation levels of Bloom's taxonomy, and I will check the knowledge they have. Is it the knowledge they need to do the job? I would check their understanding of that knowledge. Do they understand it well enough to do the job? Way before I look at anything else, like, are they motivated? Are they putting the time and effort in? Because unless they've got the knowledge and the understanding of that knowledge, then any effort they put in is going to be going in the wrong direction. So these 2 levels are the first place I go when someone's performance is dipping or isn't where I'd expect it to be. So what comes next? Well, there are two levels now which begin with A. So if we've got the what and the so what, the next level is how can we apply this knowledge and understanding to different situations. And if anybody's done any management courses, you know they always have the case study, and the case study works at the application level. So here's a scenario where somebody's not performing well. Using your knowledge of motivation theories, can you apply those theories to understand what's going on here? Okay. And you get that quite often in business courses. And that's a critical issue, because the ability to apply the knowledge and understanding is a prerequisite for people to be able to understand for themselves how they can change things or tweak things or use their knowledge in their everyday work life. Because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for this training and this learning to be applied in their day-to-day work life. So if they can't do this step, then there's a problem. So one of the things we can do here is use case studies, use examples, ask them to come up with plans, demonstrating that they are applying the knowledge and their understanding of the knowledge. And at this stage, we can also spot any gaps in the knowledge and understanding as well, okay, and fill those in. So once people are able to apply it, and this is the principle behind, role plays, case studies, and all those kinds of things in courses, is to get people to take in the knowledge and use it, actually apply it. Okay. Now, interestingly, this is often where traditional learning and development stops. We go, right, they can apply it there. But that's only really the solid base. The goal in learning and development is not just to give people knowledge, give people understanding, and show them how to apply it. But the goal is that they themselves can analyze what they're doing. And yes, that's the fourth level, analysis. They can analyze what they're doing and come up with what's working, what's not working, compare themselves to others, and they can then start developing themselves and taking their responsibility for it. Okay. So analyze is the next thing. Can they draw kind of connections? Can they differentiate between different scenarios? Can they identify patterns? Can they examine? Can they try things out and test things and analyze the results? So it's going to taking the basic application and taking it up a notch. And go, well, what if I try this? Let me try that, see what happens. I'm going to apply that, see what happens, analyze the feedback, and then try something else. This is where true self-directed learning happens. Okay. Now, obviously, the organisation, systems and processes have got to allow this. It's got to allow the space for that analysis, for that experimentation. And quite often the analyse phase, especially in the early stages, is done in collaboration and partnership with the manager/coach. So we as coaches and leaders can support someone in analysing. We can ensure that when they're doing their analysis and they're ready to experiment with something, they've thought about the risks and the consequences. And we can make sure everything's done within the safe boundaries of the workplace. That's our role as a coach and manager. So analyse is the fourth level. So we've got knowledge, understanding, application, analysis. Above that is the evaluate stage. So having analysed something, let's say someone's been trying out a new approach to presenting information to their customers. And it's different to what we've done before. So they've experimented and they've analysed the results. Can they evaluate that process, appraise it and measure it up against the company's other procedures? Can they judge and critique it in a way that evaluates it, which then gives us useful information? So we can analyze the data and draw the connections, but now can we actually evaluate it and rate it and rank it? Is this approach better than previous approaches? How does it stand up? What are its strengths? What are its weaknesses? That ability to critically evaluate something is key in the learning process. And then right at the top of the pyramid is create. This used to be called synthesis, but it's create now. Using your knowledge, your understanding, your application, your analysis, and your evaluation, can you actually create like design something new, construct a new approach, develop a new concept around this topic. So the original creation comes in. Now, not all levels of this taxonomy are used in all learning. Sometimes it's not necessary. I mean, I need to have a knowledge of the rules of the road. I need to understand them and I need to be able to apply them. But do I really need to analyze, evaluate, and create? Probably not. Okay? But in other situations, I might want all these layers. So my challenge to you as a leader is, can you look at when you're learning things now and identify the knowledge, the understanding, the application, the analysis, and the evaluative layers? And do you have examples of where one of those steps has been missed out and had a negative impact? Share your story on the Confident Leader Journey community website or as a comment on the blog, because this is a sequence, okay? And if we go to analysing before we've got the knowledge, the comprehension, and the application, we're going to get ourselves into trouble. So to be a confident leader, an understanding of Bloom's taxonomy will really help you in developing yourself and developing and leading your teams. Okay, hope to see you on the Confident Leader Journey community page on Facebook. Otherwise, you can find me on LinkedIn and yeah, subscribe to the vlog so you don't miss any. Take care. Bye.